My name is Alan Darney. I am the training director with the Northern Nevada Electrical Training Center. Well, my father was an electrician before me. My grandfather was an operating engineer and a logger, and when I found myself needing to find a way to make a living, then I eventually landed there. Well, we train electricians. We also train telecommunication workers as well. An electrician installs power services and systems in buildings and maintains them and repairs faulty systems and so forth. And that can be everything from power systems that deliver power to appliances and computers and things like that, to lighting systems and security, fire alarm, audio, video, all kinds of different things like that. I would say my favorite thing is just the variety of things that I did, especially out in the field. You could be working on a different job every day of the week, or you might be on a job for an extended period of time, which is nice too, because you may start that job when it's actually literally coming out of the ground, and then work there until completion, and then later on in life, you know, you drive past a project that you worked on and you know that you contributed to it. The structure of our program is our students go to school in excess of 200 hours a year. They attend classes during the daytime for a week at a time. So generally they're in school for a week, and then they'll be out in the field for anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks, back in school for a week, and then back out in the field working on the job and receiving on-the-job training. Our inside wireman or electrician program is 5 years. Our telecommunications program is 3 years. The journeyman rate right now for electricians is over $40 an hour, and for telecommunications it's between $30 and $40. As an apprentice, you start off at a lower rate, and then you have incremental wages as you move through the program. We've estimated that a student in the electrical program can earn in excess of $250,000 in wages during the 5 years that they're in the program. They also come out of that program with an education with no cost attached to it, at least in the form of tuition, like a traditional college education where a lot of young people come out with debt. I definitely would. I have a few of my own children that are either in the program or graduated from it, and I truly believe it's just a tremendous way to go if a person is cut out to do this kind of work. I think that it's important to know that it's hard work, but it is rewarding work, and it requires a lot of commitment, and you need to be able to think on your feet. You need to be able to do math, although the math that we do has application, so it's not just doing math on a piece of paper. You're actually using it to perform tasks on the job and so forth. And also science. There's a lot of physics and things like that that have to do with electricity. Just to remember that we're here, and this is not an alternative to college. This is college. Our programs all receive credit from Truckee Meadows Community College, and in the case of our Inside Wireman program, there is an associate's degree waiting at the other end of it, and again, at no cost to the student.
My name is Nicole Perez. I am an instructor at the Electrical Training Center. I've been an instructor for about 3 years now. I have been an electrician for about 18 years, and in the union for somewhere around 15 years. Well, it was when I was 18 years old, and I had decided that I had wanted to use my brain as well as my hands, and electrical work seemed to be right for me. And then, but I hadn't even heard of the union yet at that point. So this was in El Paso, Texas, and so I did non-union work for a while, and then as soon as I heard about the union, being El Paso being the way it was, I immediately joined the union, and I've been in ever since. I would, definitely, at least to try it out. Sometimes physical jobs aren't for everyone, but anyone who is willing to put in the work, it's a great career. If you do want to do something physical, for as far as any of the trades go, I would definitely recommend. If you want to try it, definitely try it. You know, the worst that can happen is it doesn't work out, you don't like it, and move on to something else. But you won't know unless you do try, because, you know, I wasn't entirely certain in the beginning. I knew I wanted to do construction, and I knew I wanted to be just as good as any man out there, but I wasn't sure. And then I got out there and I did it, and it was hard, for sure, but it got easier. And it gets easier with experience, and then it gets easier over time, and then it gets even easier once you're not an apprentice anymore. Then you have an apprentice to do your hard parts for you.
My name's Brad Gassaway. I'm the coordinator for Local 118 Ironworkers here in Reno and in Sacramento. The Ironworkers Apprenticeship is a 4-year program. Students come to class for 1 week at a time, 4 times a year. We also do some night training on the weekdays and some Saturday training, mostly upgrade training in the welding shop. The apprenticeship is no cost to the apprentice. Everything's paid for. You just have to meet the requirements. Just basically go to work and come to class, and there's no cost. When you're in class, you can file for unemployment, so you know essentially you are getting paid to go to class. I got into welding when I was in high school, and then got into construction after that, and then through a friend got into the union side, and it's been great for me. Ironworkers do a lot of different things. We do rebar, the reinforcing in the concrete. We do structural steel. We also do the miscellaneous handrails and small ornamental structures, and we also do architectural work, the glass and architectural panels that you see on the outside of buildings. So the work in the typical day for an iron worker can be quite different. My favorite thing about the building trades and construction is just the different scenery, right? Sometimes you have job sites, you go to the same job, day after day for a while, but jobs always finish and you'll always be going on to a different job, so you get that satisfaction of getting stuff completed. You see your work completed every day, so you go home with some satisfaction of what you've accomplished. So a journeyman iron worker right now makes about $48 an hour, and then the apprentice. So a first period apprentice would make half of what a journeyman makes. And then as you move up in the apprenticeship, every 6 months you would bump up another period. So you would go from 50% pay to 55, 60, 65, 70, and so on until you make it through the 4-year program and graduate to a journeyman level. Total package for the iron workers for a journeyman right now is $82 an hour. And that includes your health and welfare, which is your medical, your retirement, your pension plan, all those benefits that you receive. I would definitely recommend the iron workers or any of the other union building trades to somebody that's looking for a career. You can learn some skills and apply those skills and earn a great living and a great retirement and health and welfare for your family for a very long, for your entire career, and then on through into retirement. The best thing to know if you're interested in a career is that the work is hard every day. It can be hot, it could be cold outside. But it's also rewarding. At the end of the day, or later on in your career, you'll be driving around thinking about, wow, I worked on all those projects. you know, and it may seem overwhelming to think about, you know, how hard the work is right now, but, you know, you take it day by day, you just take one day at a time, you know, and there's always people, your fellow apprentices and journeymen on the job site that are there to help you through it. You know, one of the biggest things that you can do is just show up every day. Show up every day on time and try, and you'll be surprised at what you can get accomplished and what you know, what you don't know, a journeyman and other apprentices will help you learn. And, you know, day by day, pretty soon you know what's going on, and you'll be successful.
I'm DeVita, and I am the training director for the Northern Nevada Laborers Training and Apprenticeship Program, and we're here at our training center in Sparks. So our trade works on highways, utilities, buildings, concrete, masonry construction, demolition, environmental remediation, pipelines, tunnels, landscaping, to name a few, different types of jobs. So we have the most diverse scope of work in the building trades. We have a 2-year apprenticeship program, 4,000 hours of on-the-job training and 300 hours of related training. So you are earning money while you're learning in the field for 4,000 hours. And then there is 300 hours of related training here at the training center. You get college credit for that, between 22 and 24 credits at Western Nevada College, and we pay the tuition. The requirements to get into our program are that you need to be 18 years old, and you need to be physically able to perform the work of the trade, and you need to be able to work legally within the United States. I love the physical nature of being a construction craft laborer, and it's good to come home at the end of the day and feel like you accomplished something. It's great to be able to look back on the projects that you completed. I've taken my wife and my kids to many projects that I've worked on, and I always talk to apprentices about different projects. I have a picture of a job I was on in New Jersey back in the 90s. And so yeah, it's a great part of it is to see what you've done. One of the great things about being a laborer is you never get bored. And if you like to work with your hands and be on your feet and be active, then this is the trade for you. I would absolutely recommend this program to high school seniors. Definitely finish school, but where else can you go and make $60,000 a year, have benefits, have an additional $5,000 in vacation pay, employer-funded health care, employer-funded pension for retirement, and you know, the work is great. Like I said, you'll do a lot of different things. Some of it can be physical. I enjoyed that part of it. Our apprentices start at $17.13 an hour and go to around $30 an hour in 2 years. Every 1,000 hours of OJT and every 75 hours of related training, you get a raise. You'll go up, right now it's about $2.85 an hour, and it's about every 6 months. So that's a pretty nice climb in wages in just 2 years, where you'll make about $60,000 a year.
My name is Carlos Gomez. I am the training instructor for the Northern Nevada Laborers Training School. I've been a part of this, Laborers Local 169, since 2004. So I'm going on 17 years. I worked 10 years on the field, and this is my 7th year here as a training instructor. So I joined, I was in the warehouse industry right after high school. That was like the thing to do right after high school. Through family, they were already in the construction trade. They were in the laborers. So they told me about the apprenticeship. I joined. I left that other industry, and I'm glad I did. I mean, it's paid off for me big time. The warehouse industry, I mean, I always tell the story, you know, talking to someone at the warehouse when I was 19, 20, and they were making $1.50 more than I was after 15 years there, you know, where, I mean, no growth, not just as far as employment goes, but personal growth. You know, and that's something that is definitely done here. You know, financial growth, but just personal growth. You know, all the learning in life and then employment, obviously, learning the trade, it's the best. Okay, so yeah, definitely. It's definitely friendly for anybody. I mean, just me personally too, you know, English is my second language. I mean, I learned the language in high school, got in the trade, learned a lot from others, and then through the apprenticeship, I mean, I learned a lot. And as an instructor, I learned even more. So, and I'm bilingual myself, and all of the classes I consider bilingual as well. So I'm always there for anybody that needs it. I'm all up for it, yeah.
Hi, I'm Randy Canale, and I'm the training coordinator for the UA Local 350 Pipe Trades Apprenticeship. Our apprenticeship covers plumbing, pipe fitting, pipe welding, and heating, ventilation, and air conditioning service technicians. Well, when I was younger, out of high school, didn't have a definite direction, went around to several jobs. Didn't know for sure what I was going to do, but as I started getting older and started a family and things like that, I found out exactly how important it is and how valuable it is. And college wasn't for me, traditional college. And so I went with the trade route. I happened to get a job with a mine development company, was working installing pipes, and I really loved the math. I loved the physical aspect of it. And next thing you know, I applied for the apprenticeship. It was very competitive, but I was fortunate enough to get in, and I'm very happy with the fact that I've made not just a job, but a career out of it. We have two 5-year programs. The plumbing, pipe fitting, and pipe welding program are all consolidated essentially into one program. You go to school for the first couple of years. You come 6 times a year for 40 hours a week, and then for the 3rd through 5th years, you come 2 nights a week, pretty much the same schedule as most school districts do, about end of July, beginning of August through the end of May. And you go 2 nights a week for 3 hours a night during that entire time taking classes. All the while you work in the field alongside journeyman workers and sometimes other apprentices as well, and you get the hands-on version of what the trade entitles. Instead of just a short period of time in a classroom to get the hands-on, you're doing it, you're actually doing the trade on a day-by-day basis out in the field as you're learning the more technical aspects in the classroom. Well, right now, the taxable wage for a plumber, pipe fitter, pipe welder, journeyman is $48 an hour, and a total package, which includes your vacation, your insurance that covers not just you, but your entire family as well. We have 3 different retirements. Our total package is over $65 an hour goes into essentially your pay package for every hour worked. And that's the thing though, it's an honest day's pay for an honest day's work. I'll tell you right now, if you think you're gonna come in and just because you're in the union, you can slack off and they're gonna protect you, that is one of the misconceptions a lot of people have about unions. We've fought to get these wages, and our people work and earn those wages, and they have to learn their trade, and they have to go out and really do it. And it is something that we're proud of, and we pride ourselves in the fact that we go out, we get the education, we get the hands-on skills, and are able to make a career of it and not just have a job. I highly recommend this career to those that maybe do not want to follow, like myself, the traditional college route. This is college. Our program is tied to the community college system, and we do get credit for college credit for the classes that we take, and they are college-worthy classes. But I wanted more than to sit all the time and have that type of a job environment. I wanted to work with my hands. I enjoyed building things. I enjoyed the physicality of doing the work. And for those that are interested in that, it's a great opportunity. And for those, and you don't have to do it all the way. There are so many different ways that technology is coming into the construction trade. Even if you don't want to have all that physical part, you can still get into CAD and building information modeling and all these different types of programs that are involved in high-tech construction careers that really offer a wide variety of career opportunities to more than just the person that visualizes, you know, just swinging a hammer or doing something like that for the traditional style construction job. Those opportunities are there, but there's opportunities for so much more in the trades right now. From the minute you step foot on a job site, it's your job to work yourself, quote unquote, out of a job. We do these buildings and then we walk away, but you always had that feeling of accomplishment, and you could stand back and you could look at what you actually worked on during the day. You could look at what you built over a process of time, whether it be a 3-week job or a 3-year job, like some of these large projects that are going on right now. And you can always say, you know, I worked on that. I had a part in doing that. And it has a feeling of self-accomplishment that is, it's really a sense of pride for many people to be able to say, you know, I had a part in doing that. A lot think that they couldn't do it. They're afraid of the weather, or can I work 365? Because yes, it's year-round work. Construction, we don't shut down now in the winter time, or if it's too hot out. You do have to go out and be willing to work in those conditions. But I would say, like, for the heat, your body gets used to it. For the cold, many people actually think, wow, how would I be able to work in the cold? Well, I ask a lot of those people if they ski or snowboard, and many of them say yes. Well, you don't freeze when you do that. And the reason being, you prepare for it, you dress for it, and you make the accommodations that are necessary to allow you to do that. And that's the same for construction. So don't be intimidated by it. A lot of men and women both are very successful in the trades. They all have the same opportunities. You get through a registered apprenticeship program. It's equal pay for equal work for everyone. You don't have to continually fight for your wages. They're pretty much guaranteed the minimum of what you would make when you're working on those jobs. And like I say, all you have to go out and do is your job. And if you do that and you're willing to show up every day and do your job, you have a really good opportunity of being very successful and having a career and a pretty decent life.
There's so many different directions you can go. You can go from, say, in the restoration business, just doing demolition. If you like tearing things up and breaking things apart, that's a way to release some stress and stuff, so that's great. And then also on the reconstruction side, where you actually get to build things, and it's a sense of immediate gratification because you can see what you're doing as you're doing it. It's an amazing experience. I would encourage any of our youth to get into it in one way or another. Don't look at your physical limitations. It's more of a get through it mentally than physically. I mean, sure, I'm not going to say I can compete with guys throwing shingles up on a roof all day long, but that's why they've developed conveyor belts to bring them up, you know. But I mean, as long as you know what you're doing and you prove that you're worth being there, you know, give it a shot. You're never going to know what you can do until you try. I mean, I wouldn't be here if I didn't say, oh God, that looks so cool, I want to try it, and then never do it. You know, I had to get out there and go outside of my comfort zone, and I actually really love it. I not a sit behind a desk kind of person. I don't want to sit and type on a computer all day. This is a lot more exciting, a lot more fun, it's a lot more involved. You can look back and, God, look what I did. You know, even if you tore down a building, you're like, oh, I brought the whole thing down in one day. You know, it was awesome. So yeah, no, I would, especially if the girls, the tomboys, my fellow tomboys out there, get away from it, get out here, have some fun. Just stay positive. If you're interested in it, do it, try it. Because if you don't, you're gonna look back on your life when you're around my age and think, why didn't I try that? Even if you fail, try it anyway, because at least you know you've tried it.